Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dynasty Racing League. This is DRL TV, and this is the MOLNAR Automotive Cup Series. Tonight we're at Michigan for 200 miles, 100 laps here around the 1 mile track. James is going to be joining me in the booth tonight. James Pandoff, he's the owner of the league. James, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here. This should be an exciting race.
I can't wait, man. We saw Wade Hustad dominate this race earlier in the year. June 12th, I think that race was. Awesome race that night by Wade Hustad. I think he was kind of untouched all evening. Him and Chad Presnall, his teammate, running together. We'll see if he can do the same this evening. Looks like Eric Johnson has beat him around here during qualifying by 1/1000th of a second. Close qualifying times there by those top few guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the closest time for pole yet this season.
It's just crazy how good these guys are every week. We'll see what happens here as Wade Hustad. I think once the guys go green, he's going to be tough to beat, man. He gets his way around this track very, very well. Not going to be an easy feat for these guys to keep him in the rear view. You guys are getting all lined up and getting ready to get this race underway. Once Wade Hustad grids here, let's see. We're going to go down and actually talk to Eric Johnson here in a second and see how he's feeling, see if he's ready to go for this race or what. Guys, you'll have to bear with me. I don't have my normal co-broadcaster this evening in Martin Wenzel. He is on vacation this week. He will be back next week to broadcast with me, but things might take a minute, finding wrecks, things like that, etc., as James could be needed down on the track as well. So we're going to go ahead and pull Eric Johnson in here and get a quick interview with him. Eric Johnson, do you have a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, pole position, 1/1000th of a second. What's that like? You ready to put the whooping on Hustad here or what?
Yeah, I don't know where that lap came from. I couldn't run that in practice if I tried, but I'm going to try to give my best.
Hey, it worked, man. That's why we practice, right? Wade Hustad dominated this thing earlier in the season. Were you at that last Michigan race, or?
I think so. That's a long time ago. I don't remember.
Gotcha. Well, go out there and give him hell, man. Wish you the best of luck tonight.
All right, thanks. Have a good one.
That was Eric Johnson, our pole sitter for this evening there in the number 21 car. Just next to him is Wade Hustad. We're going to run through the starting order here. We have Eric Johnson there in first. Wade Hustad sits in second. Alec Martinez has the third position. Ryan Hesgard with a fast qualifying time. He sits in fourth. Edward Birch, fifth. Anthony Burrows, a mainstay in the top five here, currently sits in sixth. Josh Mayu, new driver to the league, sits in seventh. Thomas Harmon, eighth. John Theodore sits in ninth in the Corey Bush Ford. 10th. I'm sorry, I lost my place there. 10th place is Andrew Schmeier there. Dustin Musial, or Joshua Wakefield sits 11th. Matt Kleinschmidt in 12th. Dustin Musial has the 13th position. Matthew George 14th. 15th position is Jim Westerfield. 16th goes to Chris Stouffer. 17th, Richard Springer. 18th, David Wellborn. Carl Dodson sits in 19th. 20th is Jeffrey Meyer. Cy Jackson sits in 21st. Kenneth Robbins 22nd. Chris James 23rd. Sam Niederhelm has the 24th position. Bryson Hunt in 25th. David Wright 26th. Hunter Johnson sits in 27th. Getty Buckner in 28th. Chad Presnall 29th. Joseph Helt in 30th. Neither of them posted qualifying times. And Caden Honeycutt in the 31st position. So 31 drivers to fill out the field this evening. And we're about ready to go green here as the pace car gets ready to pull down on the pit road. Coming off this final corner. Pace car is down, and we have gone green. Eric Johnson getting out to a nice quick lead there. Wade Hustad respecting his position and staying back, waiting for the 21 to start the race. Not trying to jump off sides there. And here comes Wade Hustad already hard charging to the inside of the 21 of Eric Johnson. See if he can make something happen in turn 3 here. He dives into the corner hard and easily takes the position away from the 21 there. Ryan Hesgaard's moved up now to 3rd. And the number 2. And Anthony Burrows up to 4th position. And that number 62 car we're so used to seeing running up in the front. Getty Buckner also, oh no, that's Thomas Harmon, I'm sorry. Thomas Harmon there, and the number 68, he currently sits in 5th. Alec Martinez sits in 6th, and it looks like that's kind of how things shook out here. Alec Martinez is kind of close to Harmon. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get that position easily, though, as things are starting to string out and go single file here.
Oh man, Christopher had a little help off the corner. He was able to collect it before hitting the grass. Now 3 wide as he continues trying to gather it back up.
There's still 3 wide back there, bumping and bouncing everywhere. Now thinned out to 2 wide, just a hair. He goes to the inside of David Wellborn. Looks like Wellborn might have a little left front damage already. Early in this race for him to have some damage so quickly. Definitely not how he wanted to spend his race with a damaged car, but it doesn't look like it's hurting him too terribly much. Michigan is a fast track, though. You don't have to let off a whole lot in the corners. You just have to steer it right and make sure this thing doesn't snap loose. That outside corner, car gets real tight, and then right as you get to that outside of that corner, right when you get near that outside wall, it starts to try to snap loose on you. So I think these guys are going to be battling the track a little more than they're going to be battling each other this evening.
Going back to what you said, Michigan is a very fast track. It's all about aerodynamics, and having that damage on the front end could very well affect his speed throughout this race.
We go back up front here. We still see Wade Hustad sitting in 1st. Just behind him, Eric Johnson. That 3rd position that Ryan Hesgaard held earlier, he's now given that up to Anthony Burrows. And Thomas Harmon's also passed him. So Ryan Hesgaard back into the 5th position. He is one of our Grand National drivers up here racing tonight in the Cup Series. So maybe feeling pretty good about Michigan. One of the, it's easy to get around this track. It's not easy to be quick. So maybe Hesgaard there feeling pretty confident about tonight's race. Those 2 cars drive similar here at Michigan. Oh, as Hesgaard gets into that outside wall, just as I say something. Coming off that corner, that's where it happens, James.
Oh, and Joshua Wakefield gets spun around on the backstretch. It looks like he might be able to keep it off the wall.
Go back and see Wakefield. Him and Sidarius Jackson both there on the infield. Looks like Sidarius has quite a bit of damage. Smoke billowing out the back of that car. Or he looks like he's coming into pit road. Joshua Wakefield in the 35 took a little bit of damage. Doesn't look horribly ruined at this point. Not smoking or anything. So he's going to get back out there and no caution flag. Go back and see if we can watch that real quick while everybody else runs here.
Yeah, Joshua did a good job. He almost kept it off the wall, but just barely nicked it in. He does have a little left front damage.
Here's the instant replay from Wakefield. Way up high in this corner, Sidarius Jackson down underneath him. Wakefield's back into the gas. And, oh, the 94 actually came up into the 35 of Wakefield, so Wakefield's got to be hating that. He does dent the left front end, but that was all on the 94 there, or the, the 94 of Kenneth Robbins gets up into Joshua Wakefield there and causes that whole accident. Sidarius Jackson cannot be happy with the results of that one.
I'm not sure. It actually looked like Sidarius Jackson might have been a completely separate incident, and he might have just got on the gas too soon and couldn't collect himself.
So Anthony Burrows down to the apron here. Trying to get to the inside of Eric Johnson. Can't quite get up there yet, but you know, I'm excited to see what. Actually, I was going to say excited to see what Presnall can do, but did Presnall not make it into this? I don't think he's here this evening. So Chad Presnall
is in the 19th position. He started 29th.
Oh, there he is. Number 55 there, Chad Presnall, has moved all the way up to 19th. So this is not the first time in the last few weeks that we've seen him starting towards the rear of the field. Same thing goes for, what's his name now? I'm losing it. Caden Honeycutt, he's all the way up into 9th position now, so he started in the back as well. Roots his way all the way to 9th. So Caden Honeycutt, we've seen him start in the rear a few times. He got forced to start in the rear at Eldora in the Truck Series, and he keeps fighting his way up to the front of these fields. Same thing with Chad Presnall. I mean, he did great here earlier in the season.
Turn 3 of the 30 car.
Saw that.
Oh, and a big pileup.
30 of Matthew George gets up into Hunter Johnson in the 98 there. We're going to go back and watch that one more time.
Looks like Chris James just had nowhere to go.
See Hunter Johnson here in the 98, following along with him. He's approaching quick. He gets that run out of the previous corner. Comes up hard on the inside of the 30 of Matthew George and gets right into him. See what happened here with Matthew George and how many cars he collected after getting turned there. Cannot be happy with the 98. Goes up into the wall, bounces off the wall a second time, comes down the track and loses it one more time as he gets plowed in the rear by both Chris James and the 96 of David Wellborn. So few people taken out there. An unfortunate mistake by the 98. He should be receiving an end-of-line penalty after that one. He came in real hard there and just could not get into the brakes hard enough to keep it out of the 30 of Matthew George. So unfortunate set of circumstances. Try to go down here to pit road and watch these guys race off. See, even the 21 there of Eric Johnson might have a little right front damage, possibly from contacting the wall. I can't tell if that's damage or not. Wade Hustad is the first one to race off pit road, followed just behind by Eric Johnson. And I don't know, somebody snuck off pit road there pretty quick. It might have been the 93 of Edward Birch after a very fast pit stop there. Real quick pit stop there by the 93 of Edward Birch, so he's going to advance a couple positions. Got Wade Hustad came out, then Eric Johnson, then Birch, and then the 89 of John Theodore. So looks like Getty Buckner was the first one off pit road. He might have only taken 2 tires there, James.
Yeah, it looks like some drivers are trying some pit strategy early and trying to get that track position.
Got some long pit stops back here. PJ O'Leary with a 39.83, Chris Stouffer with a 50.97. So both of them getting some damage fixed. You guys do see a 30 there of Matthew George, Chris James in the 82, and the 71 of Cy Jackson. All of them have been in pit road forever. Hunter Johnson, the 98, with a 73.24. He is the one who caused that last incident. So nice long pit stop for him after getting down or getting up into Matthew George. And Getty Buckner looks like he comes down pit road again, so must have missed his pit box. That's unfortunate for Getty Buckner. Great starting position for him tonight, and he's now going to slide all the way to the back of the field. Try to get Getty Buckner in here real quick and see what might have happened with him. Getty Buckner, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, what happened there? You missed your pit box, or was that intentional?
Yeah, no, it was pretty crowded going there in the pit road there, and people, you know, with different entry speeds, so I couldn't quite see where my pit box was, unfortunately. So back to the back I go.
Well, great starting position for you tonight. Hopefully you can get some of it back, man. We wish you the best of luck.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Ryan.
And that's Getty Buckner. He's one of our broadcasters here with the Dynasty Racing League. I think he'll be bringing the race tomorrow night, right, James?
No, it will be David Wellborn and Taylor Butchie Benjamin in the booth.
Oh, that's right. Getty's kind of stepped down now. He's had some things with work and stuff like that. He does try to bring some of the IndyCar races to you guys on Thursday nights, as many of those as possible. He's the one who kind of got that off the ground as far as the IndyCar streams are concerned. But good to see him out here racing in the Cup cars. It's been a while since we've seen him racing in these. I know he raced them last year, James, but he was... I think he started this season in Grand National, moved over to the Truck Series just to fit around schedules to try to help out the DRL here with DRL TV and all the broadcasting that we do each week. And now he finds himself in the Cup car, so he's gotten to race a little bit of everything this season so far. As we go back up front, it looks like these guys are doubling up, and we're going to be going green next time by. James, are you comfortable taking these guys to the green flag? If I step away for a minute?
Absolutely.
Perfect. We are focused on Eric Johnson there in the 21. So it's Wade Hustad first, Eric Johnson in second, Edward Birch in third as we sit currently. And James will take you guys to the checkered flag, and I will be right back.
As it stands now, we have Wade Hustad and Eric Johnson going to be taking this field back to green. John Theodore is up to third after starting ninth. He's looking for a good point stay after missing out on last week's race at Watkins Glen. And we also have Caden Honeycutt started 31st all the way up to 7th. He's going to be looking to crack the top 5 on this restart. And here we go. Pace car is about to duck off, and Wade Hustad will bring us back to the line. And Wade Hustad gets a good jump. A little stack up with Anthony Burrows as the 46 of Andrew Smear looks to the outside, and we're already 3 wide past the line. Caden Honeycutt being very aggressive. And he gets past Alec Martinez, continues 3 wide, looking on the inside of Anthony Burrows. Wow, Caden Honeycutt slips up there. Anthony Burrows has to check up. Oh, Caden Honeycutt, the 46 of Andrew Smear, gets into it, and I believe Caden Honeycutt made some contact with the inside wall. That might be a caution. Sorry you guys can't see it, but Caden Honeycutt was able to save it, and no damage for him, just poor track position now as he continues under green flag conditions. And the top 5 is finally single-filed out. Wade Hustad has a commanding lead, about 6 car lengths over Eric Johnson. And we have Edward Birch Jr. looking in on Eric Johnson now.
Yeah, Edward Birch, new name here to the DRL. Is this his first race tonight, Chase?
No, he's been here, I believe, the last couple races, but he is fairly new.
Yeah, I was out last week at Watkins Glen, guys. Awesome race that night, brought to you here on DRL TV. Who filled in for me last week? I think it was Getty Buckner and Martin Wenzel. Both of them broadcast last week at Watkins Glen. So had some family stuff going on. Matthew George and Chris James, both of them still in the pits. They are still connected to the server, though, so they will be back in the race at some point this evening. Wade Hustad now out to a commanding lead, almost, or just over a third of a second now he has on Eric Johnson. So just as I figured, you know, I kind of called it before the race, Wade Hustad dominating performance so far here tonight.
I believe you were away at the time, but on the restart, Caden Honeycutt spun out on the inside, and he is all the way back to 29th now. He received no damage. He was able to keep it off the wall, but from where he started, he's back there after a strong run to the front. He's back to the 29th position, like I said.
Yeah, great run up to the front by him. Again, he's been doing that week in and week out, and now he's kind of lost that draft. It's not like it is at Daytona. It's not like it is at Talladega. This is not restrictor plate racing. You don't have to be in the draft to post a good lap time, but it is going to help you a decent amount if you can be in the draft of other cars. That's why we see these guys single filing out and trying to stay in the draft of the car in front of them. So Caden Honeycutt hurting back there in 29th right now. We'll see if he can get it back as this race goes on. I got Cy Jackson in the 30th position. He is back down pit road now, coming in for some more repairs after that early incident. I don't know, back up front here to John Theodore. Did we ever find out if Corey Bush ended up getting elected or what?
That I do not know. Maybe we can interview him sometime in the race and find out.
Yeah, I'd like to chat with him later. We talked to him a couple weeks ago. He's been running that Ford paint scheme. I don't think he was able to make it last week to Watkins Glen because he was doing some things with the campaign there, but good to see him up here running in fourth. He's kind of been a mainstay in the top 10 ever since he joined the league. He probably joined about 6 or 7 races into the season and doing very well here for himself.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't doubt that he gets a win by the end of the season.
It's not going to be easy. There's some stiff competition out there, but if anybody who doesn't know, all the viewers at home, we will go to strictly points drivers only here towards the end of the season. So once we get in the playoff territory, only points drivers are allowed to compete. We will not see the likes of Ryan Hesgard.
Spin on the backstretch, 22.73. Huge chain reaction there on the back.
22 of Dustin Musil. I see him sliding back in the standings. The 73 there of Carl Dodson. Looks like he got tangled up as well. Back and see if we can catch that.
I don't believe either of them got damage.
Looking here as Jeffrey Meyer goes to the outside of the 73 there of Carl Dodson. Dustin Musil following just behind him. Musil up real close to the wall, dives it down inside. Oh, and the 73 just barely rubs the car in front of him. I don't even know whose car that is. New paint scheme this week or something, but just gets him a little sideways. Not easy to hold on to the car. 22 and 73 rub each other right at the end of that with a little bit of contact. Not a huge amount of damage for anybody there. Small mistakes can make a big difference. We're going to go back one more time and see who it is that 73 at Dodson actually ran into.
And the 4 of Jim Westerfield did a fantastic job avoiding the 22. Do you think we can get him in for a quick word and see what his thought process was as his race almost ended early?
Yeah, I was trying to see who that was. Who's the black and red car there that the 73 got into? I'm not even sure who that was. Who's that you said, James? Westerfield, yeah?
Yeah, my apologies. That is Josh Mayu in the 61, that car that was on the outside of the 73.
Josh Mayu in the 61. So they were running very far up. These guys falling all the way from, top 10 positions, pretty far back there.
Yeah, you did.
Jim Westerfield, do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
Hey, man, we saw that incident, and the 22 looked like he was about to end your race. Did you see that incident occurring, or how did you react so quickly to keep your race alive?
I had the 90 on the outside, so I was a little bit hesitant going in, and then I seen I don't know which car it was, but I seen a red car get sideways, and that's when I started lifting, and I just made a judgment call after that.
Awesome way to pull through there, man. We're watching it live right now from your cockpit view. Definitely not an easy wreck to avoid. So, Good luck for the
Absolutely.
rest of this evening, man.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, what an awesome braking job there by Westerfield. Gets on the brakes just in time to avoid Dustin Musel coming down right in front of the nose of his car. Very impressive. These guys line back up. We'll see who came out here first. We got Wade Hustad in the first position still. Eric Johnson sits in 7th. Edward Birch Jr. sits in 3rd. John Theodore in 4th. And Thomas Harmon holds the 5th position currently.
Yeah, talk about John Theodore right now. He's doing well for himself in the top 5. There's a good chance that tonight might be the night for him to get that first win.
Yeah, just as before that wreck happened, that's what I was about to say. It's not going to be easy, man. The competition's gotten so tough here in the MOLNAR Automotive Cup Series. I mean, beginning of the season and last year in the Cup Series here at DRL, a huge array of driving skills and people that were actually racing in this series. And now it just seems like every other week we're adding a new face that's up here competing for top 5s and wins. So it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy for him to get a win, but it's gonna be exciting to see if he can pull one out here.
Looks like Caden Honeycutt is 23rd position right now after that spin. Look for him to be very aggressive on this restart to try to get back into that top 10.
Yeah, Caden Honeycutt, you guys see him here. He started in the 31st position. He currently sits in 23rd. He was all the way up there, I think, running 8th or 9th when he spun out on that last restart. So, or actually 7th was his high position. So he's been all the way as high as 7th, started all the way in the back. Now he's back here again, but it's going to be a little different this time around, James. He's going to start making those moves again because he has a little bit people to draft with this time. Not stuck out there by himself.
Field has been given him the 1 to go, and we will be going green this time by.
Everything doubles up here. These guys are going to take the green flag. Wade Hustad's elected to take the inside line. I can't say I can blame him here. Not at Michigan. It takes these guys about a lap in order to get up to speed here at this track, an extremely fast racetrack. So having that inside line and the ability to kind of choose what you want to do is definitely beneficial. Unlike some other tracks, I think next week we're going to Bristol. We'll see some guys electing to take the high line on the restarts. Not wanting to be stuck down there on the bottom and possibly getting in wrecks by coming up into the guys above them.
Yeah, next week Bristol will be a fun one, and then these guys will have an off week, so it'll be good for all of them to take that week and just relax. Won't have to worry about racing and get to spend time with their families.
Yeah, what is this off week? We got like Labor Day or something coming up? What's going on?
I believe the Cup Series is off for the Labor Day weekend.
Gotcha.
And the pace car is off. Wade Hustad gets a great jump again and will lead us to green.
Yeah, back to the green flag here. The 0-2 there. Joseph Helt right on the bumper. Right on the bumper of the 89 of John Theodore. So trying to push him around the track. He did have the 68 of Harmon go down to the inside of him. So Harmon's going to claim that position. John Theodore back to 5th now. Oh, but Theodore making a move to the inside. Now it's going to be a matter of whether the 93 of Edward Birch can stay up in front of him or not. It looks like looks like Theodore wants that position back from Harmon.
Yeah, and we got the 93 looking inside on the 21 of Eric Johnson. Looks like he might have the momentum to get by him. Oh, man.
Whoa, the 0-2 of Helt. 0-2 of Helt almost up into the 68 of Thomas Harmon. And what do you know? They're knocking at the door. The 55 of Chad Presnall. I told you guys earlier to keep an eye out for him. Him and Wade Hustad, our current leader. Both of them are teammates. They run together here regularly. We're sitting in a channel right now with one another, talking to each other and helping each other around this track. So,
looks
too
like
wide.
93 of Edward got loose off the corner. That gives Eric Johnson the advantage on the back straight, and he retains the second position. And the John Theodore and Thomas Harmon still side by side. Chad Fresnel will be looking to make it 3 wide on the straight.
Yeah, Presnell looks like he wants around John Theodore. He has charged his way from the rear of the field. We pull him up. Started in the 29th position. He now currently sits 6th if he noses in front of Helt. So awesome work by Presnell, but some of these guys are going to be just barely slower than him, James. So it's going to be tough. He's not going to be able to make easy passes.
Yeah, that is true, and we still got about 70 laps to go, so there's plenty of time for him to be able to work through the field.
Yeah, looks like he's backed off just a little bit here, letting these guys fight it out, burn up their tires. He doesn't want any part of that because as these guys go for a long green flag run, you slow down significantly at Michigan. It is a really quick track, but the corners have to be taken perfectly. I mean, you got to go all the way from the top of the track, all the way to the bottom, and then back to the top of the track as you come out of the corner. You use the entire racetrack through these corners here, and if your tires start to wear down, you're going to lose a significant amount of lap time. 68 of Thomas Harmon to the inside of the 89 of John Theodore. Looks like he wants the position back yet again. So those two been duking it out here since this restart happened.
I just noticed that Anthony Burroughs is all the way in the 21st position. I'm going to take a look back and see what happened to him, if he missed a stall or just had a long pit stop. But he is climbing to the top 20 now.
Yeah, the 62 of Burroughs trying to make moves on these slower cars. It doesn't look like he's received any damage, so must have had a mistake down there on pit road. Maybe missed his pit stall or had to sit around for a little repairs from rubbing a wall or something, but he now sits in 19th. Go back up front where things are a little tighter. Alec Martinez currently sits in 11th there in the number 92. 07 of Chris Stouffer just in front of him. And the 4 there, Jim Westerfield, after fighting through that wreck, we got that interview with Westerfield. He's being passed on the outside by Caden Honeycutt. Caden Honeycutt's making the moves again, James, all the way up to 12th.
Yeah, he does have a fast car, and just a confirmation, Anthony Burroughs did pit twice on the last caution. That is why he's so far back in the field.
So minor mistakes on pit road. The smallest thing can cost you wins here. It can cost you top 5s, and we'll see at the end of the season. Might cost a couple people a championship. 93 there of Edward Birch Jr. falls behind the 21 of Eric Johnson, and Wade Hustad once again is running away with this thing. He has over about a 3/4 second lead on second place, so those top 3 guys kind of seem in a world of their own. We do see the 55 of Presnell still charging up behind the 02 there of Helt and John Theodore in the 89. He wants around those guys bad. Do have to use a little bit of patience here. Like I said, it's a large track. It's not going to be easy to pass, and we do have, 67 laps still left here at Michigan. So Chad Presnell needs to play a little bit of a waiting game, not try to win the race on lap 33, but it would be nice to get around those guys, get a little clean air in front of the car, and make up some ground on the leaders.
Chris Stouffer just had a great save off the corner of turn 4. He gathered it back up, and he was able to maintain 14th. He's looking on the inside of David Wright. He should be able to make the pass coming off turn 4 again. Chris Stouffer was looking forward to Watkins Glen last week. However, a first lap wreck took him out of the race, so he's looking for a rebound week here, looking for that top 10 finish to help him in the points.
Yeah, he's one of our Indy drivers. I know he loves the road courses, whether it's in this Cup car or any other kind of car. He likes racing at those roads, but he is driving for points here in the MOLNAR Automotive Cup Series, so needs a strong finish. Hopefully he can pull this one out, make it a little better than last week at Watkins Glen, as Anthony Burroughs in the 62 there looks to the inside of him.
And this will be for 15th if Anthony can get by him.
Well, we see the 98 there of Hunter Johnson trying to follow behind Anthony Burroughs. That's the thing here. If you get pinned down in that bottom line, the car wants to coast up as you go through the corner. You do get real tight. So, I'm sorry, pinned up against that top line. You're just going to have to let off a lot in order to stay out of the wall. Coming out of the corner, as you guys see there, the 98 just couldn't handle it. Hunter Johnson slams the wall and gets loose. And the 03 of Getty Buckner goes to the inside. Followed just behind him is the 61 of Joseph Mayo. You guys almost can't even see his number there on the side of the car, or Josh Mayo, I'm sorry, not Joseph.
Yeah, he was involved in that earlier incident. He managed to come out unscathed, and he's looking to take the 18th position, 19th, excuse me, away from Hunter Johnson.
Looks as if he is successful. Hunter Johnson back to 19th, Mayo up to 18th. Whoa!
Doing a little
way down
wiggle
to the inside there.
Christopher.
Yeah. So he's going to lose those couple spots. Christopher looking a little uncomfortable in this car.
Yeah, that's the second time in the last couple laps he had a little wiggle. I don't know if he's just getting on the gas too early or if he's just not comfortable in the stock car.
Well, I don't think it's the car itself, I really think it's the track. I mean, this is one of those tracks where you just have to know where the groove is and stay in it all the way around that corner. And if you get outside of it, again, you're plowing up, you know, from the beginning to the middle of the turn, and then right at the end of the turn, the car's going to snap loose if you're too close to the wall and you turn that wheel a little too far to the left. Somebody goes way down to the inside. That's Ryan Hesgaard having issues. Awesome qualifying time by him tonight. Was able to run a nice, fast, hot lap, but not able to hold on to this car too well so far here in green flag traffic.
Yeah, Ryan Hesgaard, a Grand National Series regular, competing for that championship. He has a couple wins in the Grand National Series, so I think he's just testing the waters, see how he does in the Cup car, and maybe we'll see him here full-time next season.
Yeah, I know he raced last year in the Cup car, wasn't extremely comfortable in that series last year, so he did step down into Grand National this year, and you know, we only had one series last year, so guys didn't have much of a choice, but he's felt right at home in those Grand National cars, been doing very well in that series. I don't know. I mean, if this is the first test to see how he does, things aren't going too well so far tonight, but we do still have, you know, 62 laps to go, so plenty of time for him to make that back up.
He has kept the fenders on it, so could be a lot worse for him. I think he definitely has the potential. He just a little more practice, and I think he'll be a contender.
Yeah, I'm sure he put in some time for the Grand National Series. They weren't even at Michigan this week, were they?
No, they were at Mid-Ohio.
Oh, and the 07 there, Chris Stouffer goes around. Wow, that was fast. Chris Stouffer all the way back now to 28th, 29th position, so he has instantly towed into the pits. No caution flag is going to come out. See if we can catch exactly what happened to Stouffer there.
Looked like he just got loose, and he might have had a little help from the 22, Dustin Musil, who couldn't check up in time because of him letting off the gas.
Yeah, he got real loose coming out of that corner, and then suddenly the rear end of his car was right in front of the 22 Bud Light car there at Dustin Musil. So that sends Stouffer back into the outside wall, all the way down to the inside, and that might be the end of his night as he has now disconnected from the server. So 2 bad weeks in a row for Chris Stouffer, not how he wanted this week to go.
Going back to the leader, Wade Hustad now has over a second lead on second place, Eric Johnson. I was looking back at last Michigan in June's race stats. Wade Hustad led 69 laps that race, and if he continues what he's doing tonight, he's going to be able to break that and might be able to pull off the Michigan sweep.
Yeah, not going to be an easy record to beat, but it doesn't seem to be too much of an issue so far. Now, if you just look at the top 5, I mean, there is 2.5 seconds between 1st and 5th right now. So Wade Hustad definitely in a league of his own, kind of running away with it. Eric Johnson and Edward Birch Jr. very close to one another in 2nd and 3rd, and then it kind of drops back where you see 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th all within about a second of each other. 71 there, Sidarius Jackson coming back out onto the track after those repairs. He was in the pits for a good 5 minutes or so. And there he is again, James, the number 37 of Caden Honeycutt, all the way back up to 8th. So hopefully he doesn't overdrive the car this time. Last time it was nothing but his own fault as to why he got loose. And see if he can avoid it this time. Yeah, really pushing that car to try to get up to the front here. So your current top 10 guys, we have Wade Hustad in first, out here running away with the race. Eric Johnson sits in second, the 21. Edward Birch in third. Fourth position belongs to Chad Presnall, the number 55 there, Wade Hustad's teammate. He's made his way up to fourth. Joseph Helt sits in fifth. John Theodore in sixth position. The 68 of Harmon right behind Theodore there in seventh. Caden Honeycutt eighth. And then we take a big jump back here to Alec Martinez. He sits in the 9th position, and Bryson Hunt in 10th.
Had a little incident on the backstretch. The 22 got loose off the corner. He was trying to save it almost 3/4 of the way down the backstretch, and the 46 ended up collecting him, not knowing where to go while the 22 was saving it. 22 looks to have some damage. His race might be done, judging by the way his car is driving on the apron.
I'm looking at his car right now on the broadcast, James. I don't know, man. That thing's going straight, but the whole nose of the car is pointed out to the right. So definitely strange way to drive the car there. And 22 with Dustin Musel, definitely done for a little while at least.
I'm trying to find the 46, see how much damage he might have.
Musel drives in sideways there into his pit box. Looks like he missed it a little bit because of the way he had to drive his car, but he does get into the pits. See the car going up in the air there, and they're starting those repairs as soon as possible. Carl Dodson in the 73. He's also in there getting his repairs. Matthew George has been in there for a long time, as well as Chris James. Those guys might have blown motors. They might not make it back to this race, but both are still connected here to the server. Go back up front and look at our leaders once again. Wade Hustad not in the picture here as we look at these guys from above. Eric Johnson there in second, third Edward Birch Jr., and fourth goes to Chad Presnall. So I can't say I'm surprised so far here tonight, James. We haven't had a ton of movement. There's been a few minor accidents here and there by these guys, but nothing major has happened yet this evening, other than maybe Chris Stouffer's unfortunateness.
The two of Ryan Hesgard is in pits. I'm not sure if this is pitch strategy, if he might have hit the wall.
I just saw him come down there. We'll see how long he spends on pit road. Cy Jackson spent another 19.22 seconds, so still getting that car healthy, maybe overheating a little bit, had to pull down pit road, but
Ryan Hesgard missed his box, so that's going to cost him a bit of time as he gets back onto the track.
Not a whole lot of time there. A 14.82 by Ryan Hesgard. I don't know if he only took 2 tires or he just needed some fuel and he forgot it earlier, but he is coming back out onto the track. That could be pit strategy here, James. How long do these guys have on a fuel run, do you know?
I am not sure. I believe it is over 40 laps, maybe at the 50-lap mark. If that is the case, there is some questionable decision-making on Ryan Hesgard, considering he would be about 5 laps short.
Yeah, maybe just super uncomfortable in the car, had his tires burn up a little bit, used more than he wanted to, and he decided to come down early and freshen those tires up. So he will be the first car a lap down now. He sits in the 26th position. They're in the number 2 car, so David Wellborn Jr., who did take very early damage in this race. He sits in 25th, just behind PG O'Leary there in the number 80, who's 24th. Kenneth Robbins in his beautiful bright green car. He sits in the 23rd position currently, running all by himself in the 94.
We got a battle for second. Chad Presnall is past Eric Johnson now, and we got Edward Birch Jr. looking on the inside of Eric Johnson.
Yeah, very surprising. I didn't even see Presnall get around the 93 there of Edward Birch Jr., but Presnall making things happen. It's him and his buddy Wade Hustad out there running for first and second again. We'll see now that Presnall has some clean air if he can put a little distance between him and those cars behind him. Guys, we are green flag still. We are 50 laps in out of 100. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back for some more exciting green flag action here with the MOLNAR Automotive Cup Series with the Dynasty Racing League. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. While you were gone, we did have Edward Birch Jr. here in the number 93. He did get loose, let a couple guys around him. Eric Johnson gets around him, Joseph Helt, Caden Honeycutt. So Edward Birch Jr., as this race lags on, he's letting the fatigue get to him. The tires get old, and he's not able to maintain the speed that he had in the early parts of this race. He is still a rookie here with the Dynasty Racing League. Go ahead and pull up his information. He has a 3,900 I rating, so very comfortable under these Cup cars, I'm sure. He does hold that A license with a 4.99 safety rating, so this is nothing new for him. Maybe just didn't get as much practice as he needed here at Michigan, or yet again, I mean, the smallest little mistake can cost you big here. Back up to the front now, as I predicted there, Chad Presnall has some clean air. He's able to put a little bit of space between him and Joseph Helt in the O2, but man, the beat is still Wade Hustad. As you see, the camera there jumps all the way an entire turn ahead of these guys. Wade Hustad now has a 3.5 second lead on second place. Second place has a 1 second lead on the guys behind him, so Wade Hustad's running away with this thing just as he did in the spring. Caden Honeycutt here in the 37, definitely no slouch. He started in the rear of this field. He has fought his way all the way up into the 4th position as he comes by Eric Johnson in the 21. So we'll see if these guys get another caution. Caden Honeycutt might be a contender for the lead. Looks like he scrubs off a little time coming to the bottom of the track there. Eric Johnson tries to get up onto the outside of him. But Honeycutt able to take the better entrance into that corner. I think Eric Johnson has what it takes to get back around him. You guys see Bryson Hunt there in the number 90. He's come down pit road. Dustin Musial finally came off of pit lane. He is 300 seconds there in the pits. He is back out on the track to collect a few more laps. And Matthew George and Chris James both still connected. Neither one currently on the track. So Ryan Hesgaard, after pulling down pit road, he is actually out of the session now. So Hesgaard maybe not feeling as comfortable as he should in the car, or he took some damage that we just didn't catch on camera.
It says that he received throughput, so it looks like a connection issue there. But we do have green flag pit stops as the 44, the 61, and the 4 are all coming down pits.
And green flag pit stops are starting up here. Let's see if we can get Ryan Hesgaard in for a quick interview. We'll see if he answers us. Ryan Hesgaard, you got a copy?
Go ahead.
Hey man, maybe had some issues there as far as network goes. Is that why you came down pit road?
No, I came down pit road because I just couldn't drive the car anymore. I practiced all week with the default set and was not anticipating it being this slick at all. So just not missed, but a little underprepared, I guess you could say.
Yeah, we didn't know what it was early. You seemed like you were very good at running the hot lap here, and then you slowly fell back, and then you got in a little bit of trouble with the wall and getting loose and things like that. The track's not easy to run as it is, let alone when it's real hot, that's for sure.
No, you're right in that. And then I did have a little bit of a connection issue there. Just randomly shot me out of the car. So that's all right. We learned a little bit today. We'll look forward to going to Bristol and put on a good performance there.
Yeah, it's good to see you up here in the Cup Series. You think you'll run this series full season next year? Or?
We'll see. A lot of it's going to be, what rule package we run and if it's beneficial to our nights and all that type of stuff. A lot of variables, but I would like to. We just got to make sure it can all work together. So.
Yeah, scheduling can definitely get in the way. We all have lives to live outside of iRacing, but doing very well in the Grand National Series, and hopefully we'll get to see you there throughout the rest of the season and compete for a championship, man.
Yep, I'm going to try my best. Hopefully we can get one for S2R. It's our first chance at one, so we'll make sure we put the practice in like we were earlier in the season.
Well, best of luck, man. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
That was Ryan Hesgaard, I think the owner of S2R, that is Silent Syndicate Racing, out of this race early. But again, he's a Grand National driver. I don't think he's too worried about his chances here. He didn't get in anybody's way. That's the good part. Didn't cost any of our points drivers here a race or anything like that. So steps out of the car after not really being able to drive it the way he wanted to. Said the track was a little bit slicker than anticipated this evening. So we're now 62 laps in out of 100. Wade Hustad there as he comes around the number 90 of PJ O'Leary. Or I'm sorry, that's the number 90 of Bryson Hunt. Or was that the number 80 of PJ O'Leary? Yeah, that's the 80 of PJ O'Leary. I thought that was his car. Just going off of what it looks like. It's hard to keep up with all these guys' paint schemes every week, James. They like to change them up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of talented people that create these paint schemes, and they like to show them off. And even some drivers have personal sponsors they like to attach, and that is the great. I'm sorry. That's the greatness about iRacing, that you can show off your paint schemes, either personal paint schemes or ones that you can find on Trading Paints.
Well, speaking of these personalized paint schemes, next week we go to Bristol. Then we do have that off week that we talked about earlier, and then we come to Darlington for the Darlington 250 here with the MOLNAR Automotive Cup Series. That's going to be the throwback race, so almost everybody will be sporting a new paint scheme for that week. Throwing back to all the old paints. I'll let you see some of the sweet old paint schemes on those older cars that look a little different than the cars do nowadays in NASCAR, and everybody will be sporting one of those come it's at September 4th, I think we go there to Darlington. So that should be super exciting. I can't wait for that week, and I'm not going to know who anybody is at Darlington.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be neat seeing all these paint schemes. We're trying to limit the duplicates. We're trying to get everybody to select one scheme so we see a variety of different paint schemes out there, because I know a lot of people have, you know, this one favorite driver. They want to run this certain paint scheme, but we're trying to limit everybody so we can see all different paint schemes, not just duplicates. And Caden Honeycutt slides through his pit box, so his pit time will be a little longer than most.
Yeah, 15.18 there from Caden Honeycutt. Anthony Burrows with a 15.42. Alec Martinez, 15.68. So these guys spending a lot of time on pit road. We did have Wade Hustad and Chad Presnell both came down just now, one behind each other. We'll see. I mean, Chad Presnell, if he can come out right behind his teammate here in Wade Hustad, these guys might be able to just run away with this race, James. We see Hustad gets a 15.33, Presnell with a 15.03, so he might gain a little bit of time and be able to catch up to Hustad here.
Joseph Helt now comes down to pit.
All of these green flag pit stops cycling through. We have PJ O'Leary down pit road. Joshua Wakefield comes down. Helt starts his pits now. And there's Wade Hustad. Sneaks right up there in front of the number 60. And it won't be too long till he has this lead back, as he just has to come back around and get in front of Helt, who dicks actually a 14.65. Very fast pit stop there by Joseph Helt. So he definitely made up a little bit of time on pit road. Awesome pit by him. PJ O'Leary spending some time down there, maybe some damage to the car.
Got a good battle over here with Caden, Chad Presnell, and the 93 of Edward Bursch Jr. This is all for position. All three drivers have pitted. I believe this is going to be the battle for top 5 once pits cycle out.
Oh, and I think all three of them scrubbed the wall just a hair there as they try to get around the 46.
Yeah, all three drivers.
Yeah, all three do make it around the 46 there. That's crazy. Presnell actually getting cycled back a little bit. Not the pit stop I don't think he was hoping for. He did pull down just after Wade Hustad, but a little slow getting out of pit road. So now he's got to fight back around a couple drivers. They did pit earlier than him, though, so he will have a little bit fresher tires than these guys. It's not going to make a huge difference, but a lap or two, you never know. I mean, Michigan is a big track. It could change things here towards the end of this race. We got 33 laps to go.
This is the battle for second that we are watching. Everybody has cycled. Wade Hustad is in the lead by 5 seconds now, so he is dominating this race. I believe he is a couple laps away from breaking the June Michigan race laps led record, so definitely putting on a show.
David Wellborn Jr. there in the 96 trying to stay out of those guys as they fight for second. Gets into the wall just a hair in that turn. So Caden Honeycutt down to the inside of Edward Burch Jr. Chad Presnell pushing him hard on the outside. Presnell really wants to get around Edward Burch Jr. here. He spent so much time burning up his stuff, him and Caden Honeycutt, trying to get to the front of this pack. It's going to be interesting to see here, James, because it seemed like Chad Presnell was better than Caden Honeycutt at the end of that last run, but now they both have fresher tires, and Honeycutt had to fight from further back, so see if Honeycutt can hold them off.
I think the only thing that will ruin Wade Hustad's night is a caution flag. He has a comfortable lead, and it'll be interesting to see if Caden has enough time. 5 seconds is a lot to make up.
Yeah, I mean, I would love it to see this thing go green here. I don't think anyone has anything for Wade Hustad so long as he doesn't make a major mental error. But these guys running for second, third, and fourth right now, it's looking like a heck of a battle as things progress here.
Richard Springer in the 91 lost it off 2. He did hit the wall, but he is back and going. This track definitely slick, as Ron Hesgard mentioned earlier. The track temp is at a 105, so it's definitely difficult to handle these high horsepower stock cars around this track.
Yeah, they're definitely quick. We see the 37 of Honeycutt and Presnell down to the inside of the number 60 there. He is, how many laps down is he? Sam Niederhelm currently sits 18th, 1 lap down. He's the second car, 1 lap down. So Kenneth Robbins there in the 94. We see him just up in front of these guys. He will be the next car to be lapped. He's already a lap down, you know, considered the first car a lap down. That's because he's the only one Wade Hustad, our leader, has gotten around so far. So
John Theodore just lost 2 positions and turns 3 and 4. Anthony Burrows and Eric Johnson get by him. That is for the 6th position.
Burrows and Johnson, 2 very fast cars week in and week out. I'm a little surprised. Joseph Helt, Edward Birch Jr., both of them racing really well tonight. And Caden Honeycutt actually is still able to hold off Chad Presnall. So he's still sitting in second after starting as far back as he did. Presnall unable to really gain on him. But both of them are slowly, very slowly gaining on Wade Hustad first. As they go around the 94 there. Was still the first car a lap down, Kenneth Robbins in the 94. And here we have David Wright, the number 44. He will be the next car to be caught by Wade Hustad. Just behind him is Dustin Musel there in the 22 Bud Light car, getting that earlier incident tonight. Wade Hustad still a little ways off of them. But he is still out here in first and running the same line every time around this track. He's quick tonight, James.
That he is. Trying to calculate the fuel mileage. I heard that it might be about 40 laps. I'm trying to see. Wade Hustad pitted on lap 65, so if it is 40 laps, he will have enough fuel, but this could be fuel mileage race.
Yeah, it might be close. Any more cautions tonight, and there's no chance of it being an issue with fuel. We do have Caden Honeycutt there in third. He's got 10 laps on his tires already, so might be close for him. Edward Birch Jr. also with 10 laps, and then all the way back to John Theodore before somebody else came in 10 laps or more ago. So some of our drivers, though, Josh Mayu, this might mix things up. Mayu, who sits 11th right now. Him, Jim Westerfield, who sits in 4th. We have Getty Buckner. Or, I'm sorry, not in 4th. He is the number 4. He sits in 12th. The 13th position is Getty Buckner. 14th, Jeffrey Meyer. 15th, Bryson Hunt. 16th, David Wright. All 5 of those guys, all 5 of them actually have 15-plus laps on their tires. So they're going to be making it real close on a fuel run here. Caden Honeycutt now passed by Chad Presnall. Presnall still showing what he's got as he continues to try to fight up there and catch Wade Hustad. Still 5.3 seconds back. Not going to be an easy feat. Definitely take a big mistake by Wade Hustad to let somebody catch him now.
With Chad Presnall and Caden Honeycutt battling, that has opened the door for the O2 of Joseph Helt to catch him, and now he will be looking for 3rd and 2nd position. And this is all going to benefit Wade Hustad. The longer these guys battle it out, the slower they will be, and the farther away Wade Hustad can pull.
Yeah, he said a couple minutes ago that Presnall and Honeycutt were catching him, but now Presnall has actually lost about a 1/10 of a second on that last lap. So the O2 of Helt gets around the 37 here, Honeycutt, and Wade Hustad's looking better and better as time goes on here. Chad Presnall coming very close to that outside wall. I can't believe how close these guys ride right up next to that barrier. It's crazy. The corner takes a little bit of a dip here. As you guys see, they come through the corner. There's that safer barrier that's connected to the outside of the corner. And then as you get onto the straightaway, the safer barrier ends. So the racetrack kind of dips up a little bit. And they use absolutely every inch of it. I mean, the car gets right up against that wall. It's crazy. Richard Springer there in the 91. He's been down pit road now for about 4 minutes, so definitely some damage there to the 91.
Yeah, he spun it off too and made contact with the inside wall. Looks like we have another spin. I think that's the 80 of PJ O'Leary. He is a couple laps down, and it looks like no caution.
Yeah, O'Leary there down to the infield. Left front fender's all dinged up there on the 80 car, so he's staying on the apron. I think he'll come down and get some repairs as Dustin Musel pulls back down pit road. So the 22 going to get some more repairs after that accident from earlier. Probably has some overheating issues as these things run pretty quick here around Michigan.
Yeah, he was actually right behind the 80 as he spun, so that's the second time that I know of that the 22 is right behind a car spinning off turn 2.
Yeah, that's earlier in the race. Who was that? Somebody came down right in front of him, hit that outside wall, and there was no way for him to get out of the way.
I
So
believe this is the 07 of Christopher.
yeah, that was definitely still unfortunate there by the 22 of Musel, but you know, you got to put yourself in better situations than that, James. You got to, you know, qualify better. You got to be up further in the pack and not put yourself in that situation where, you know, maybe you're racing towards the rear of the field right behind somebody who's not so comfortable with their car.
And we got a good battle for 5th heating up between Edward Bursch Jr. and Thomas Harmon. You can even throw in Eric Johnson in there as he's only a car length behind Thomas.
Yeah, you say that. I think you can almost throw in Anthony Burrows, too. I mean, he's historically good here in the DRL. The most wins ever in the series. I think he has the second most pole positions, so outside of Eric Wolf. And he's not too far behind him. But these guys battle for too long, and Anthony Burrows will be right on their heels. Edward Bursch Jr., we did see him make a fall towards the the end of that last green flag run. Didn't feel as comfortable with the car on those older tires. Joseph Helt, actually. What happened there? Joseph Helt comes down and gets... Looks like he comes down for a pit stop. So 12.98 seconds on pit road there for the 02 of Joseph Helt. And... why did he do that?
Maybe he doesn't have enough fuel to the end. This, like I said, might be a fuel strategy.
This might really, really be a fuel strategy if that's the case. I hope something major didn't happen there to Helt, or... I don't know. Nothing else could have affected him. I don't think he got a black flag for anything, so... there is no loose lug nuts here or anything like that in iRacing, so...
I just heard him over the radio. He said when he pitted, it did not fuel the car during that first green flag stop, so he received no fuel. That's why he pitted.
Wow, that is super unfortunate. Huge mistake there by the pit crew of Joseph Helt. Not putting gas in the car, and now he's paid the price, as he is running right behind the 55 of Presnall. I was actually about to make the pass on him, but he's a lap down now. See, Presnall is still losing time on Wade Hustad, who sits out in first now, over 6 seconds behind Wade Hustad in the first position. So Hustad's still running away with it. As these tires get older and older, the time falls off more and more on the lap times. But Hustad just driving that car right on the edge of disaster and showing everybody how it's done. As he comes to the rear of the 44 there of David Wright. That's going to put David Wright a lap down, and we'll leave only 14 cars on the lead lap here, which is crazy. I mean, considering how big Michigan is and how fast the car is here, for Wade Hustad to now have lapped as many people as he has and leave only 14 cars on the lead lap is just mind-blowing. Wade Hustad's driving out of his mind right now. We'll see if these guys have to make any more pit stops. I have a feeling if it's going to come real close, I mean, that gives Hustad even more of an advantage, as he can kind of shut the engine off in the corner, get back on it after he's coasted past that apex, and stretch that fuel as long as possible.
Yeah, and going back to Joseph Helt, that is really unfortunate. He was definitely a top 5 contender. Now he's 1 lap down, back in 16th position. So definitely going to be a big points loss based on what he could have earned for tonight's race.
Yeah, we'll pull up the point standings here and check that out. All right, he's not up there in the top 16 as it sits. But he does need those points. I mean, if he can collect a win here before the end of the season, he'd be able to be fighting to make it into these playoffs. So you see Eric Wolf there. He does have a win under his belt. You see David Wright with a win under his belt. These gentlemen have not raced enough races to qualify them to be automatically in the playoffs. So not only now their win Yeah, it's great for points, but it doesn't really matter because they haven't raced enough races to actually be in the playoffs at this point. So they still have to make it in by points, and I don't know. David Wright and Eric Wolf have done it. That loss of points for Helt is definitely going to hurt.
Yeah, like you were saying, we do have a win in your in policy. However, you do have to compete in 80% of the regular season races to use that winning in ability. If you do not make the 80%, you will have to make it in on points. Joseph Helt, who has won the season, as you can see in the standings, is in top 16. However, if he can get to 16th, he will be able to make it on playoffs based on points. He is not eligible for that winning in.
Yeah, so I mean, 16 guys here in the top into the playoffs so far. David Wellborn sits on the bubble. He is 16th right now. So,
and that is the position that I think is going to be unstable as we head closer to the playoffs. I believe David Wright will be okay in 15th. However, if he misses a race or two, then his position will be in jeopardy.
Yeah, definitely a close battle there. I mean, you got David Wellborn Jr. He's currently running in 20th so far in this race. Just behind him, Brandon Dalton, Jordan Gonzalez, Sam Niederhelm, and Christopher. We saw Christopher have issues earlier. Might have knocked himself out of this playoff race at this point. Sam Niederhelm, how is he doing currently? Let's see here. Niederhelm sits in 17th, so he's going to gain some points as of now on David Wellborn Jr. and move himself up just a little bit. Jordan Gonzalez is not racing tonight. Brandon Dalton in the 85 is also not racing this evening.
That is correct. He is not here, so that will definitely help Sam Niederhelm and even Christopher gain a little bit on those two drivers, so they're going to be even closer to that 16th position.
Yeah, Niederhelm really needs to push here and keep himself there in front of David Wellborn Jr. and make up as many points as possible. He's currently 20 back from. Is that 20 back from the guy in front of him? It has to be, right? Or is that 20 back from the cutoff line?
Cutoff line.
So yeah, he only needs 32 points in order to. He only needs 32 points in order to catch up to David Wellborn Jr. So it'll only take him a couple races if he can keep finishing better there than the 96. But Wellborn Jr., one of those guys, we don't see him out here racing for wins week in and week out, but he's consistent. I mean, gets top 10s, top 15s, race in and race out. Just races his car. He doesn't try to race everybody around him and make enemies. And it's paid off for him so far. Let's see if he can hold on to that position as the season goes on.
And as we were talking about the standings, Joseph Helt, who did pit, fresh tires, that definitely makes a difference as he was able to pass the leader, and he is now back on the lead lap. So a caution here will benefit Joseph Helt, and he could get back into that top 10.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if we had a caution right now, I don't know if it would help him at all, right? Because all the leaders are going to come down. They're all going to come down pit road. They're all going to get fresh tires so they can race against each other. But if this thing gets to like 3 or 4 to go, and then the caution comes out, it's not going to help him at all because there's no way the leaders are coming down for tires. Definitely going to see some pit strategy come in here if another caution flag comes out. But everything seems to be single file at this point. I mean, nobody's going to try to wreck on purpose, that's for sure. But there are battles all over the place. We have Edward Birch Jr. here still sitting in 4th. Anthony Burrows right on his heels in the 5th position. And Eric Johnson just behind him in 6th. So I don't doubt we'll see Anthony Burrows trying to make a pass for 4th here within a lap or two.
Yeah, I believe that's the biggest battle we have on track, and it's an important one. Top 5 finish definitely be a great points day for these drivers as we head to the short track of Bristol. That is so unpredictable.
Yeah, Bristol's going to be crazy, man. I can't wait for that race. It's going to be great. Next week we have, I think it's the Dysfunctional Patriots are sponsoring the race next Monday night with the Grand National Series. Whoa, it's the 93.
Birch gets loose.
Edward Birch.
Oh,
very
man,
loose. He had Anthony
hurt
Burrows knocking on the doorstep there. So Edward Birch loses a couple positions, able to hold on to the car. Awesome control there by him. And Anthony Burrows up to 4th. I mean, not a stellar night tonight from Burrows, but able to sneak his way up into the top 4. That's awesome.
Yeah, that'll drop Edward to the 7th. But lucky for him, 8th place is 3 seconds back. So he's able to regroup and doesn't lose that many positions.
Yeah, things definitely stringing out here. I mean, we see cars all over the place. There's only 15 on the lead lap. 15th position belongs to Jeffrey Meyer there, and he is 39 seconds behind, or no, 38 seconds behind the leaders. So no time at all there until Wade Hustad catches up to him. As we see from that view, Wade Hustad is about a half a straightaway behind those guys. I think Hustad would like to stay out of that. I don't think he wants to get near those guys before the end of this race, and he doesn't really have to, James. I mean, he's got a 7-second lead here on Chad Presnall. No need for him to over-push it here at the end of this race. But what a showing by Presnall. I mean, 29th position is where he starts, currently sits in second, and has a great handle on the car right now. Hopefully I'm not giving him the broadcaster curse, but an awesome race tonight by Chad Presnall.
Same with Caden Honeycutt. He started 31st. Came up to 7th, spun out on the backstretch, and with that one caution, he restarted, I believe it was 27th, and he's up to 3rd. So both he and Chad Presnall, great nights for them. And going back to Joseph Helt real quick, I've talked about the fresh tires. He's now up to 13th, and he does have a possibility of a top 10. I know there's only 5 or 6 laps left, but if the fresh tires prove anything, he might be able to catch 10th place, who is Josh Mayhew in the 61.
Yeah, crazy what those fresh tires could do for him. I mean, he wasn't in that bad of a position, right? Because those top 4 guys were probably running a good 20 to 30 seconds in front of the end of that lead lap. So even though he went a lap down, he was way faster than probably the next 5, 6, 7 guys in front of him. So as we do have 15 drivers on the lead lap, so able to catch up to a couple guys. We'll see if he can keep moving forward. The 96 there, Wellborn getting a little loose. Jim Westerfield is the next one for him to try to get around in the number 4.
I don't know about you, Ryan, but I'd like to interview the top 5 for this one. I wish we can do top 7. All of those drivers, great battles throughout the race, but I think the top 5 is well deserved to be interviewed after this one.
Yeah, I mean, Presnall and Honeycutt, I can't wait to chat with those guys and see what that was like, fighting from the rear all the way up to the front like they did. Anthony Burrow's a mainstay here. We interview him practically at the end of every race. And yeah, I mean, if we had all night, I would love to talk to Harmon and Edward Birch Jr. and even John Theodore there in the 8th position. I still want to find out about the Corey Bush Ford and see if she got elected or what all happened with that. But just awesome race tonight. I mean, nothing super exciting happened. We didn't have the big one. There was no giant wrecks. There was no, super crazy battles. But awesome to see, how some of these guys fought their way through the field and came away with top 5s who you never would have thought at the beginning of the race were going to end up here.
Absolutely. You don't always need those big wreck-filled races each and every week. Good hard racing is fun to watch just as much as those, when I'm watching strict plate racing, I'm looking forward to the crashing just as much as the racing. But for Michigan, the good hard racing is just as good.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Nobody goes to Talladega to sit and watch them run a couple hundred laps under green flag, that's for sure. Here at Michigan, I mean, these guys, you can see every lap around this track, they're driving the car right on the edge. I mean, they get so close to the wall, the car, you see the rear end of it sway left and right coming out of every corner. It's just absolutely impressive, and to see how much ground some of these guys made up is amazing.
And it's definitely not easy to do this. We've seen several people spin out off the corners. It is definitely hard to do this, and it takes a lot of time, patience, and practice.
So that pack of cars I said Wade Hustad did not want to catch up to, he has now caught up to with 3 laps to go. So Hustad has to use a lot of patience here. He has to be smart about this. He knows these guys are a little bit slower. They're not super comfortable in this car right now on these old tires. And he has a huge lead over second position at Chad Presnall. So maybe he needs to take it easy, not try to push it too hard, and just collect the win here.
Just ride behind him is what I would do in this position.
Yeah, there's no way I'd be trying to make a move here on the 90. I would ride right behind him for the rest of the way, not get too close in case he makes a mistake, and just collect my victory. Do that nice burnout for these guys at the end of the race. So he's going to now try to move to the outside of the 94 there, Kenneth Robbins.
He just stuck it 3 wide. That was yeah,
intense. Kenneth Robbins was slowing up, though. I think Robbins was trying to get out of the way there. It's crazy to me that Hustad is trying to get to the inside of the 90 here. That's Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The 90 gets all the way up into the wall.
And
Luckily,
the
he has
96.
the 90 had the mental fortitude there to just stay out of his way, but 32 seems to be pushing it a little too hard here, kind of unnecessary. Final lap here. Wade Hustad is going to come around and collect the victory, barring some crazy thing happening in this last corner. You have Chad
Dominant
Presnell.
performance.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I called it at the beginning of the race. I knew Wade Hustad was just going to come out here and do exactly what he did tonight. Led almost every lap of this race, so awesome job there by the 32. Chad Presnell in the 55. He's going to take second position, and Caden Honeycutt in the 37 fighting from the rear of the field. He's going to finish in third. Anthony Burrows able to get his way up here. He started in sixth, didn't seem super comfortable, and wasn't out racing for a win at any point. He wasn't in first position like we're used to seeing him, or second and fighting the leader, but he does come away with fourth. Very respectable, and he is our point standings leader here. So 7 wins by Anthony Burrows on the season. He does have 21 bonus points going into this playoffs, so great work by him. And Wade Hustad there just solidifying his stay in second right now. He now has 5 wins. He will have 15 points heading into the playoffs. So 15 of those bonus points will definitely help him as the playoffs arrive. What a race, James. What a race. We're going to go, let's see here. Going to go ahead and look at these unofficial results real quick. Wade Hustad comes away with the win, guys. 98 laps led. The only laps he didn't lead tonight were the laps when he was down pit road and somebody else might have led while he was in the pits. So,
Should we start with Wade Hustad, or would you like to start with Eric Johnson?
well, first I'm going to roll through these unofficial results real quick. Wade Hustad in first, Presnell second, Caden Honeycutt takes third, Anthony Burrows in fourth, Eric Johnson takes the 5th position, Thomas Harmon 6th, 93 there of Edward Birch after losing it. He still comes in 7th. John Theodore 8th. The 9th position goes to Alec Martinez. Josh Mayu, that red and black car I couldn't identify earlier in the race, he finishes in 10th position. We got Getty Buckner in 11th. Joseph Helt in 12th after coming down to take gas when he didn't really need it. He just had an issue on pit road there, so he does fight his way back to 12th. Jim Westerfield 13th. 14th goes to Bryson Hunt, the first car a lap down. Jeffrey Meyer finishes 15th. 16th goes to David Wright in the 44. 17th, Sam Niederhelm, who does gain a couple positions there on gain some points there on David Wellborn in the point standings. Matt Kleinschmidt finishes 18th. 19th goes to Joshua Wakefield. 20th to David Wellborn. Kenneth Robbins in the 94 finishes 21st. 22nd goes to Andrew Schmeier. 23rd goes to PJ O'Leary. 24th goes to Dustin Musel. 25th, Richard Springer. 26th, Hunter Johnson. Ryan Hesgard in 27th. Carl Dodson 28th. Chris Stover finishes in the 29th position. Second unfortunate week in a row for him. Chris James comes in 30th. 31st goes to Cy Jackson in the 71. 32nd, Matthew George. And 33rd there, James McDavid actually did not race this evening. So 32 positions. That was the finishing order there. And we're going to go down, and I think we need to get a quick interview here with Eric Johnson. He finishes in 5th tonight. Eric Johnson, you got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, you took the pole position, man. Wade Hustad, I knew he was going to be good this evening. He gets the win, but another top 5 finish for you, man. How's it feel?
Yeah, it feels good. That's a lot of fun. Cars slipping and sliding a lot. Just seeing somebody make a mistake in front of you, then you think you get them, then you make a mistake, and it's just back and forth like that. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, how much did you race the track this week? The track state was a little different at 105 degrees tonight, huh?
Yeah, I didn't even practice at all. I just put those couple laps in earlier today, and that was it. But it was interesting. It was a lot of fun, though.
Well, that's not supposed to be the answer that we hear from you. You're supposed to put in a ton of practice and come out here and get some wins, man.
Yeah, I wish I could, but, you know, life gets in the way.
Yeah, we can't all be on iRacing 24/7. Hey, another top 5, man. Hopefully you'll be competing for a playoff here at the end of the season. You looking forward to that?
Oh, yeah, just got to keep doing those good finishes, and hopefully I make it if I don't get that win. So,
yeah, how do you feel about the playoff tracks?
I haven't even looked at the schedule, but hopefully Phoenix is there. So that's pretty good for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of mile and a halves. It's definitely going to test everybody. So best of luck to you. Hopefully we'll see you again next week, and congrats again on 5th tonight.
Hey, thanks. Good broadcast, and congrats, Wade.
Yeah, anybody else you want to shout out before I let you go?
Just everybody at DRL, MOLNAR AUTOMOTIve. That's it.
Thanks, Eric. Have a great one, man.
All right, see you.
Well, we're going to get Anthony Burrows in here. Plenty of interviews with him already this season as he sits right there next to the 37 of Caden Honeycutt. Get Mr. Burrows in the room quick. Anthony Burrows, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hey, man, another top 5. Another week ticks by, closer and closer to those playoffs. Congratulations on 4th. What was it like out there tonight? Were you not super comfortable with Michigan, or was it the track state, or what was it?
I actually hit the wall around lap 15, I think it was, after the restart. So the next caution, I had 25 seconds of damage, so I decided to take all that during my pit stop. So that put me up. That put me last for the restart. So that whole last run, I had to work my way through the field from 27th, I believe. So it was a lot of fun, but yeah, the car is definitely tough to drive. I was struggling with it a lot with it stepping on an exit.
Yeah, well, you spoke to Ryan Hesgard earlier. He said he ran this track all week, and the track state tonight with that 105-degree track temperature, it almost made the car impossible to drive. It was tough.
Yeah, it definitely made it different. I didn't think it'd be looser than the normal track, but yeah, definitely a difference. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, congrats again, man. Top 4. You want to shout out anybody before we let you go this evening?
Yeah, shout out to everyone that raced tonight. Race was pretty clean. Yeah, shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast as always, and James and all the admins and everyone for putting on this league.
Yeah, it was a quick one tonight. This thing almost lasts 2 hours normally, and we'll be done with everything before an hour and a half, interviews included. So, thanks again, Anthony. Have a good night, man. We'll see you back next week.
Yeah, thank you guys.
That was Anthony Burrows, our points leader, currently in the MOLNAR Automotive Cup Series with a 4th place finish tonight. Now we're going to go down and grab Caden Honeycutt, who comes all the way from 31st to get that 3rd place finish tonight. Awesome driving by Caden Honeycutt. I can't wait to interview him. Caden Honeycutt, you got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, I don't know. So your position at the beginning of the race started with a 3. And your position at the end of the race started with a 3. How's that feel, man? Coming all the way from 31st to 3rd.
It was pretty good. I didn't expect to be in 3rd, but probably would have got somewhat behind on that start where I spun out and got hit from the right side. I was weird, and the caution didn't come out, so it made it even worse. But that was awesome. I had a fun time in 3rd. Fortunately, hit the wall twice and just messed the car all up. I didn't have any aero, and kind of had a little motor damage, but that's all good. I still finished 3rd at 31st. I'll take it.
Yeah, cool to watch you and Presnall both 29th and 31st starting positions. Both of you guys fought up there and then had a decent little battle there after that last restart. What's with you, man? You like doing this? I mean, you fought from the back twice tonight, and this isn't the first time I've asked this question.
Well, I do like starting at the back. It makes it a little interesting, but you can't do that next week. Next week, Bristol's, you have to start up front or the mayhem comes in and you just get wrecked the whole time.
Oh, there's definitely going to be some mayhem. I had mentioned earlier, everybody tonight, I'm sure it didn't even come into question in driver chat during the race, but nobody elected to start on the outside, even, the few restarts we did have. Next week, you think people will be, that leader will be choosing the outside lane?
I've been racing official races this week. The bottom, when you get to the bottom, no matter the guy on the outside can always predict it, but on the inside lane, in the cup car, I start in the inside lane, and when I control the starts, I usually pull out the 3/10 lead for turn 1 on the inside. And then about half second to 0.7 on the back stretch when you run the bottom while everybody else is side by side. So I think the bottom will definitely be a factor next week. I really love the bottom at Bristol. I will probably be the only one that runs the bottom because fortunately I'm the only one that figures out that tires are saved a little more on the bottom than the high side. So hopefully I have that benefit next week. So in the trucks and Xfinity cars too. So it'll be interesting next week. I like Bristol.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought that was typically middle to higher line track there. So, but I see what you're saying. I mean, the cars have so much horsepower in the lower gears there at Bristol, where you can get off to a quick jump if you can just be the first one to dive into that corner. So maybe bottom line is the way to go. I'll let you be the one to decide that if you can come out and grab a pole position next week. But anybody you want to shout out this evening?
You guys, Ryan, you too, man. Thank you for doing the broadcast. You too, James. Hope glad you're feeling better. You're back with us on Monday, so thank you for being here. Taylor Berman for being the race control tonight. Everybody for putting this deal together. It's really an honor to race in this league with everybody. It's definitely run efficiently. I've probably never seen a league like this before, so it's amazing for what they do.
Awesome, man. We're just as happy to have you. It wouldn't be a league without the drivers. So have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next week at Bristol.
Yep, I will see y'all next week, and hope you YouTubers that are watching this, stay tuned for next week. It's going to be even better.
Have a good night, kid.
You too, guys.
That was Caden Honeycutt, our third place finisher. We're going to go down now and grab... Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just pull both of these gentlemen in here at the same time. They are teammates. Chad Presnell, who finishes in second, and Wade Hustad in first. Wade Hustad and Chad Presnell. I have both of you gentlemen. This is Ryan up in the booth. How you doing tonight, guys?
Very good, Ryan. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. Presnell, you here?
Yeah, I got you. I'm doing well. A little sweaty, but I'm here.
I was going to say, you got to be a little sweaty after racing from the back to the front.
Well, man, she was a handful tonight, I tell you.
29th all the way to second, man. Did you think you were going to be able to make up that many positions? And did you start back there on purpose?
No, that wasn't intentional at all. I need to do a better job of getting going when qualifying begins. I always tend to wait, 2 minutes in, kind of see what times are posted, and they end up biting me on that one. But I was just being patient, trying to work my way through the field methodically, and I seen there was a couple of times where I was just let out of it and let them duke it out where they look like they're about to wreck, just trying to avoid disaster. So it worked out. We come through unscathed, so I can't complain.
Yeah, I think I'm getting tired of watching you fight from the rear to the front. Same thing goes for Caden Honeycutt, who we just talked to. But June 12th, I mean, Presnell, you're the one who took the pole that night. Hustad came out, dominated the race with 69 laps led. I mean, you guys are teammates. How'd you guys figure out this track together? What do you guys work on throughout the week? You guys are just dominant at Michigan.
Go ahead.
What do you think, Chad? I was just going to say just finding that race line. Depending on the temperature of the track, you just want to find that balance of those tires. Tonight, it more or less was the rear tires. But if you can keep that car straight, not slide it at all, you can serve them for the long run. And tonight, it was the ticket because the track was so hot.
Yeah, absolutely. I ran a couple of NIS races and stuff like that, and then me and Wade hit some practice sessions here or there, just kind of trying to get a feel. It seemed like tonight the track lacked a little bit of side grip on corner exit, whereas in official you get off the corner a little bit better. So that definitely threw us a curveball initially, but I think we got it squared up by the end.
Well, it was definitely a fun race to watch from up here in the booth. I know the guys at home enjoyed it. Hustad ran away with it, but awesome watching you battle there. I mean, you and Caden Honeycutt were battling there towards the end, and then Edward Birch Jr., before he got loose a couple times, battling with a few of those guys. That's what it definitely came down to, that race line. We had Ryan Hesgard. He dropped out of the race earlier this evening, and we spoke to him for a minute, and he said he practiced all week, and then this temperature was 105 degrees, and he just couldn't find the groove. So,
yeah, she was slick for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I don't know, week in, week out, Chad and I, we push each other more and more. It seems like we're always trying to find that next level. And, even tonight's race, as the race went on, when we're sitting first and second, it's kind of an unspoken agreement we have. We still drive really hard to see what we can get out of the car. So it was just a well-rounded race for both of us.
I can tell you during that after that last restart, Presnell, once he got up into second, got around. I think it was Edward Birch Jr. He had to get around, and Caden Honeycutt he had to get around. But once he got around those guys, he gained on you for about 1/10 of a second. He gained on you for probably 3 or 4 laps, and then you started making the gap grow again, Wade. So awesome racing by you tonight. Dominating performance. 98 laps led. The only ones that weren't were under caution, or not under caution, but when you were in the pits. So great work tonight, man. Congratulations on your first place win. Do you want to give a shout out to anyone before I let you go?
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. It's good to have you back again, Ryan. And JP, the time and effort you guys put in as admins is great. And just Chad, we love racing with each other and continue to push each other to try to be faster and faster week in and week out. And I think we found something for these cup cars, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see you guys in the playoffs racing for a championship. Maybe you can finish 1-2. Chad, you want to shout out anybody tonight?
Just reiterate everything Wade said, and it's just a great lead to race in. It's been a lot of fun, and ready to get them next week.
Yeah, I'm just throwing this out there. The right side of your car looks a little more scraped up than the right side of Hustad's.
Yeah, I almost pulled off a full drift around 3 and 4 and just overcorrected. Man, these cars got wicked counter steer. I almost pulled it off, though.
All right, guys, have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you back again next week.
Yeah, bud.
Sounds good.
All right,
man.
Yep, see ya. Well, that is Wade Hustad and Chad Presnell, our first and second place finishers for this evening. So awesome race by those two guys. Very well done tonight. Presnell especially to fight as far as he did, and then Wade Hustad with just a dominating performance. James, how do you feel about the race tonight, man? I think it kind of went as planned, yeah?
Yeah, it was a fantastic race. A lot of good racing. Unfortunate, a lot of self spins, but like they were saying, the track was very hot, and these cars are a handful to handle. Excuse me, that's a tongue twister. Anyways, fun to watch. Only 2 cautions. Next week at Bristol should be a different story, but these guys are top of their class, and it's fun every week to go out and either race with them or watch them. It's always a blast.
Yeah, again, next week we're coming to Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. That's for the Tennessee 250 here with the MOLNAR Automotive Cup Series with Dynasty Racing League. That'll be me and Martin Wenzel coming to you guys at 9:25 p.m. Eastern next Tuesday night. I can't wait for that one. It's going to be great. The next broadcast here on DRL TV is the Michigan 150. We'll be right back here at Michigan in the Winona Road Truck Series for 75 laps and 150 miles around Michigan here. That should be awesome. David Wellborn and Taylor Butcher Benjamin, they will join you at 9 o'clock tomorrow night. I'll be competing in that race. Hopefully you guys can come out and cheer on the number 23. I can't wait to race in that one. I have a little bit of fighting to do to get back in the point standings, but I'm very close to that playoff cutoff mark. So I think I'm like 4 cars back, and I probably got about another 20 to 30 points to make up before the end of this regular season goes. So working hard to do that. Thank you to all of our viewers tonight for tuning into the race. Everybody for coming out and cheering on your favorite driver. It's been an absolute blast here tonight, James. I can't wait to come back next week and watch these guys race Bristol. That is going to be an absolute pleasure. I'm going to roll through the credits here. Thanks again, James and Tater Bowman, the owners of the league, for putting everything on here every week. Martin Wenzel and Jordan Gonzalez for all the graphics and stuff that you guys see on the screen up there. Martin for bringing us each one of these custom graphics week in and week out. He puts in so much work with the league. David Wellborn Jr., Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Martin Wenzel, Getty Buckner, and myself, the broadcast team here at DRL TV. We are still looking for a broadcaster or two. If you have a computer that can stream and you have an interest in these oval racing and you like the Dynasty Racing League, let us know. I mean, we'd like to hear from you, give you a little tryout. Happy to show you the ropes. And thanks again, everybody who's involved with the Dynasty Racing League, even where Eric Weatherholt's down there at the bottom for the Indy Series. That's going to run tomorrow night, guys. That could be broadcasted. It could not. At this point, the Indy Series is kind of a toss-up for the rest of the season. It will become more serious next season. I haven't decided how all that's going to work out, but that will be coming back next season as well. And thanks to all of our drivers for tuning in every week. The Dynasty Racing League wouldn't be what it is without you. James, you got anything else for our viewers before we let them go this evening?
No, I believe I covered it. You covered all of it as well. Thank you for having me. I know Martin is on vacation. I hope he's having a great time. And he'll be back next week with you. And it'll be a fun race at Bristol. I'm even hoping that I'll be in the field myself. So look out for me on the track.
Yeah, we'll look to see you running out there. And that's it for tonight, guys. You see there in the Gatorade victory lane here at Michigan. The number 32 of Wade Hustad, dominating performance tonight. Congrats again to the 32 of Hustad. We'll see you back again tomorrow night, the Winona Road Truck Series. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great night.